I hope Fred wasn't much trouble. I became his guardian after his father died.
Where is Cielo?
Well, we thought the Society sent him. Your friends nearby.
What is this?
You know, you don't seem artificial.
What do you mean?
Take a look.
The junkyard?
Actually, it's called Asura Project, Stage 1. It's a VR designed for urban warfare.
Huh? What's that mean?
You guys, and that world you were in, are programs the Cyber Shaman created for the Society.
Dude, you seriously need to lay off the booze.
The Asura Project. It was designed to develop combat enhancement AI, to be implanted in live soldiers. You were going to be programmed into microchips. Stage 1 is a coliseum for selecting the most effective AI. It's a purgatory born of wisdom that man stole from God.
The war will escalate. God has cursed us all.
God?
Yes, God. 30 years ago, at the end of the 20th century, crises erupted worldwide. Mutated pathogens, abnormal weather patterns, collapsed ecosystems, and the QVA syndrome. Historically, a genius always emerges in troubled times. 10 years ago, one such individual found the source of these problems. Jenna Angel. She was part of the International Environmental Stabilization Committee.
It's her!
But your hopes and beliefs are utterly worthless.
She stated the disasters were caused by data from the sun, hidden discreetly within its rays. The sun, a gigantic body of accumulated data. She said he was there from the beginning, influencing Earth and its development. That places him on God's level.
And what does this God have to do with us?
Man is God's accursed son. We use our knowledge to find new ways of killing. The Society was formed to survive our tribulation, but the army corrupted it, and you were created. However, knowledge alone cannot create a perfect AI.
The Cyber Shaman? You said she created us.
A medium between God and man. She is the only one with the ability to extract data from God, the Society's very foundation.
Sarah works for the Society? We risked our lives for her. You're saying none of that matters?
You can't fight your programming.
Sarah cared about us.
An artist can feel love for her masterpiece sometimes.
Shut up!
Calm yourself. Tell me, how did you learn of all this?
We have a mole in the Society.
How can you verify the information's authenticity?
This disk of composite data, we received it just before you arrived. A complex electromagnetic wave pattern. Our test subject became a demon like you. And then, of course, there's your existence. God, shaman. We have to believe. Here's a question. Do you know what happened in the Karma Society 5 years ago? Would you like to? Colonel Terrence E. Beck. He claimed that you had all died, according to Cielo.
That is not his face.
Back then, he oversaw the Asura project. He died when God went mad. A man who died in this world claims an AI killed him. Doesn't make sense. You and Varen are supposed to be programs. Something happened that day. Only the cyber shaman knows the truth, linking you to the society.
Get to the point. What is it you want?
Bring us the cyber shaman. It's her fault that there are orphans like Fred. But without the shaman's power, we have no hope.
And in exchange,
we'll give you the infiltration route and all necessary supplies.
While Cielo remains captive, unacceptable.
What?
You mentioned a test subject who became like us. We need manpower.
You're saying you want us to become monsters?
A slip of the tongue. I did not ask you to accompany us, unless the test subject cannot. You killed him.
Is that true? Roland?
He could have lost control. We had to.
This is nothing but coercion. You have no honor.
How dare you slander us?
It may be true that we become frightful monsters. However, the people of the junkyard fought for their very survival. I will not accept that it was all just an illusion. You're the people of Nirvana. Lupa died in vain. I see. You needn't say anything. We will agree to your terms. Not to help you, but for Sarah's sake, and for Fred.
Gail!
Take care of Cielo.
Alright, greetings and salutations. My name is Comic Fire, and this is probably the latest I've started the commentary in an episode. Anyway, welcome back to more Digital Devil Saga 2. In the last episode, we made it to the Locapala's base, and in this episode, we've already got quite a lot of plot info dumped on us. And unlike Digital Devil Saga 1, Digital Devil Saga 2 isn't afraid to hand out plot detail. It's not even generally like, you know, get through a dungeon, get your plot next dungeon. Sometimes you even get a little bit of plot during dungeon. Of course, I could be misremembering some of that. These guys are basically just teaching us the basics of combat. Yes, you have a weakness, and you should probably avoid it. Though it seems a little weird to be giving such a simplistic explanation of how the battle system works this late into the game. And by that I mean it's the sequel, a very distinctly plot-related sequel. Like, you're not gonna understand that stuff if you haven't... I suppose you could. It is very early. I suppose you could. Because I mean, I suppose it was a decent summary. You could read a summary. And weaknesses. Elemental weaknesses weren't a huge part of the first area, so it's not like you're learning through example either. Though I don't suppose you'd really be able to beat Vitala if you didn't have some grasp on the elemental weakness system. I don't know, a lot of guns don't really seem to do too much damage, but maybe if I use better guns, we'd be better off. Don't be a dick. And this is the equivalent of the vendor from the first game. This is Mad Mart. Now, if you had over 1 million Maka, I think it's 1 million Maka in the first game, and then you transfer your save data over to this game, you do get $20,000 instead of $10,000. And it's actually dollars. I'm gonna miss that tag ring, but I suppose we don't really have a use for it anymore. Now, the mantra grid in this game does work quite differently from the first game, and I showed the tutorial instead of just explaining it because I feel like it would do a better job. Because I didn't really bother getting too many mantras when I played through this game. Mantras are really expensive. Well, they're not really expensive. It's that money's a lot harder to come by in this game. So, once you get all 6 mantras around it, you can unlock the mantra that's inside. And they do expect it to be a team effort, like using all of your party members and getting mantras around it, and finishing the mantra grid as a team. It's not like the first one where you just head more to the right and you're good. And if you use if you unlock a mantra that's on the very fringe of the current mantra grid that you have, you expand it. Now, it's easier to build different character archetypes in this game because you don't necessarily have to, like, if you want, say, someone to learn Diarahan, you don't necessarily have to, or not diorama, let's just say diorama. You don't necessarily have to go through all of the healing monsters to get to it. Let's say you go a little farther down the fire mantra path. And when you unlock a certain fire mantra path, the next grid that opens up is a high-level healing mantra. You can jump straight to the high-level healing mantra, which is really cool. I really do think it's a good idea, but AP grinding in this game is slow. It's just so slow. Level grinding in general in this game is so slow. And unlike the first game, there isn't anything like the Titania hallway where you can get a ton of levels really quickly. So even the best area in the game, I read somewhere like the final mantras took almost an hour for him of like amped up experience and everything, magic read to increase encounter rate, all the best things for it, still took him an hour of work. And with money being hard to come by in this game, that really doesn't help either. Anyway, I feel like Digital Devil Saga 2 has some issues, but I feel like I can get over them for this LP. Seems like a really dingy room. Seems like it'd be a lawyer's office, maybe. I'm kind of thinking like Saul Goodman's office in Breaking Bad, almost. Of course, his was a lot nicer, but it kind of gives me the like the waiting room for it looks sort of dingy like this, and it's like if the waiting room reflected what the office itself would look like, I feel like that's what the office would look like. I skipped through that because I thought he wasn't going to say anything new, so if you really wanted to know, go back and pause, and I apologize. We're not like that. Humans aren't really tasty. You see, that's what I'm all about. Other demons? Hell yeah. It's true. Alright, now time for our first real dungeon of the game. That's cool. That line really cracks me up. I don't sound like it right now, but I laughed kind of hard about it the first time I saw it. Because the first time I played this game, I was actually going to community college. Actually, I graduated last month. Now it's off to quote-unquote real college, a 4-year university. Or just a university in general. So I'm going to try to finish this LP before August, so same with Nier, really. I have to get Nier done super quick then, too. Because after that, I've got to go full portable so I can only do LPs on my laptop. And anyone who wants to know if Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor 2 Record Breaker is coming, yes, I did buy it on release. It's staring at me right now, unopened still, on my game shelf. Have not had the time. Instead of starting it yesterday, when I finally really got back into gaming again, I started Tales of Hearts R, so... Break record's really far off, guys. And I probably don't even have the time for an LP that huge anytime soon, so... One day. Alright, don't have to be a dick about it. Kinda like the minimalist music, but it also really doesn't seem like anything. Like just diddly diggly diggity diggity. And then a couple of piano notes.
She refuses to obey us after losing her friends.
Has it already been 5 years? She used to be so small.
Inside, she's still just a 7-year-old. We'll proceed according to guideline and initiate the lobotomy procedure.
Jesus.
Jenna, have you lost your heart? She was born of your own sperm and egg. She's your daughter.
Yes, that does mean Janet is a hermaphrodite with 2 fully functioning sets of sexual organs.
Do you hate her? Or are you jealous?
Please, I'm not that narrow-minded. This body is the least of my concern.
We begin to worry as we grow old. Like me. I'm concerned because you've been acting as if you hate everything.
Madame Margot, I admit that I have changed. However, I haven't forsaken humanity yet.
That yet's kind of a
Good to
red
hear.
flag.
The surgery will not be necessary.
Are you planning to delay the Nirvana project?
Ma'am, there you are. I regret to inform you that some of our information was leaked.
How did this happen? How much information was compromised?
We're investigating now. An old fiber optic cable was still operational. I've sent troops to check it out. We're trying our best to determine suspects.
What a headache.
What is her plan? And why would the operation be unnecessary?